Hello everyone, this is my emergency recap of the Season 7 teaser for the Life series. Don't know if they're called seasons, but whatever. If you haven't seen it, Grian posted a teaser video to his Instagram and then someone reposted it to YouTube, which is what I'll be looking at today. I'll have a few relevant links linked down in the description so you can go watch it for yourself before we get into it. Before we start, this is all just speculation, and we can't expect all of our crazy theories to come true. It'll probably be nothing like a lot of them, so just keep that in mind as we get more information. Now let's dissect this teaser and get as much information out of it as we can. I'm not going to play the audio because I think the EVO intro music, which plays at the end, is copyrighted, so I don't know if I should play the audio. Anyway, it starts with just a blank screen for a while, and then we start to see the hearts come in, red, then yellow, then green, which might be relevant. I'll talk about that later. Then they form into a kind of a clock, with the yellow heart turning into the hands of the clock, and you'll notice that it's actually ticking backwards. Then it just kind of swirls into a big ball, and you'll see the Watcher logo in the center here in just a second. There. Right here, we can see the Watcher. Whoa, okay. Right here, we can see the Watcher logo kind of pop in the middle just for a few frames and fade away. Then it kind of swirls around and turns into this eye, which looks back and forth. This is also when the EVO intro music starts to play, which is probably relevant. Anyway, now we see that it is releasing in July of this year, which is insanely close. I did not expect it to happen this soon, honestly. Then at the end we get like a big flash of different things. Let's go through them really quick. So first we see the eye again, then we see the hearts again, then we see the eye again, then we see July again, and finally the hearts in black and white at the very end. The other interesting thing about this is that we can see that the red and yellow hearts have been whited out completely, and it is only the green heart, assuming green heart, could be the red heart in the side in this frame, is the only one that remains. I thought this was just grayscale at first, but you can see that there is no shimmer on the other two, and they are pure white. You would see a little bit of gray if it was actually the red and the yellow being put in black and white, but it's actually blank, blank, and then a full heart. To cover a few little mini theories about certain elements, starting off with the clock, some people might think that it relates to a kind of limited life thing, because that's where we've seen a clock before in the Life series, but I don't think it's going to be related to a literal clock-themed premise like limited life, because that would be too similar to limited life, and Green has said before that he doesn't really want to repeat premises in any way, even if there is variations. I don't know if he exactly said that, but I feel like that's what he meant by that. Another important detail is that there's a lot of reference to EVO specifically. While there have been references to like the Watchers and Watcher iconography in the past with like the Secret Keeper and whatnot, this is the first time we've seen direct reference to EVO itself, with the intro music being used at the end. A small little theory that I have about the Watcher specifically is that the Watchers are, in a lot of cases, used as metaphors for the audience. So with the Watcher's eye looking left and right in the teaser, this could signify a kind of fan interaction, where the audience doesn't know all the details and is searching for them. This would be really interesting because it would mean that there's kind of a mystery to be solved, and you wouldn't know exactly what's going on by watching every single point of view, which would be super cool. As for theories on the actual premise of Season 7, I think there are two feasible theories, or two that I can think of at least. One of them is very, very likely, and kind of the popular theory, and the other one is kind of a stretch, to say the least. The first theory is that with the reference to EVO's intro theme, it will be an EVO-themed premise, so they will just climb through the versions as the season progresses. In this case, the clock moving backwards would simply signify them going back in time to the first versions of Minecraft at the very beginning. However, there's an alternative solution. What if it's a reverse EVO? So they start at the current update and then they go backwards in versions as the series progresses. This would involve the clock moving backwards a lot more, But it's also way less likely because that is incredibly technically challenging to go backwards in an update because, blocks disappear and everything changes and all of that. It's not designed to go backwards. Plus, Green has said before that he wants to tone things down for the next season. He said that he doesn't want to do things as big as Wildlife, where he had to work with a developer to develop a mod or data pack for every single session, which is ridiculous. Anyway, my second more obscure theory relates to the fact that the hearts in the intro went from red to yellow to green instead of from green to yellow to red, like you would probably expect anyone making this teaser to portray them as. Now, this could mean absolutely nothing, or it could mean that during the series they will go from red to green instead of from green to red. I have no idea how this would be incorporated so that you still get an exciting series, because you would need a lot of extra stuff added or a lot of modification. But then again, Green's had a lot more time to think about this than I have, so maybe he has found a way to fit that in. It's a lot smaller of a detail, so it's a lot less likely to be relevant, but I do think that the red, then yellow, then green could be significant. There's also a fan theory I saw on the Third Life subreddit, where someone theorized that maybe it would be EVO related, but instead of moving through the versions in time, it would move through the seasons in time. So it would start with Third Life, then Last Life, then Double Life, and so on. I don't think this is likely because, one, it might feel a little bit repetitive with the last session of Wildlife being a recap of Wildlife's sessions. And I also don't think that having a completely different premise for every single session would be very viable. I think it might kind of trip over itself a little bit. Last thing I want to talk about is the mysterious black and white hearts at the end of the video. I have no idea what this means. I literally have no idea. The fact that the first two hearts are just blank white and only the last one is actually there could signify that this is the last life series to ever exist, that, it's on its last heart. And then maybe the grayscale could be just throwing us off of that, because if it was red, then it'd be like, oh, it's the last one. Or the black and white could mean it's an abstraction of the usual red, yellow, and green system. I really have no idea at this point. It's very confusing. I mean, it's only there for one frame, so it could mean absolutely nothing. If you have any more theories, or you have any more information, your things you remember about EVO or about Watcher lore, then please tell me in the comments, because this is very exciting. Also, I'm probably going to be making some videos leading up to the release of the next season. Kind of like the first two that I made on this channel, so if you want to see more of that, then definitely subscribe so you'll see that. And also, quick plug, I'm starting my own SMP, and if you want to join, the information will be in the top right corner. It's going to have just regular Hermitcraft inspired SMP stuff, but also some life series projects in the farther future. So if you're interested in that, please see that video. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you in the next one.